तो okay, तो बेसिकली ये जो डेटा सेट तो कॉन्फिडेंट इंटरवल सबको पता है कि क्या है कॉन्फिडेंट इंटरवल, या बताना है अभी?
बता दे भाई।
अच्छा, ठीक है। तो मैं इसका कॉन्फिडेंट इंटरवल बेसिकली, और तो चलो मैं इसको स्लाइड के थ्रू समझा देता
हाँ, ये क्या सीख रहे हैं हम लोग? हम नॉर्मल डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन कुछ कर रहे थे ना।
हूँ। नॉर्मल हो गया था।
अच्छा, हो गया। ठीक।
नॉर्मल हो गया था, नॉर्मल के बाद आता है हमारा कॉन्फिडेंट इंटरवल। ठीक है, तो सीन दिख रहा है ना मेरे?
हाँ।
तो बेसिकली इसको हम पॉइंट एस्टिमेट से भी लेंगे और इंटरवेंट से लेंगे। बेसिकली इट इज अ रेंज इन विच वैल्यू शुड बी लाइक बिटवीन। ओके, तो इसका अपर अपर लिमिट है और लोअर लिमिट होता है। पॉइंट एस्टिमेट बेसिकली अवर मीन, उसे ओके, मीन मीडियन मोड, बेसिकली सेंट्रल टेंडेंसी हमारा वो होता है पॉइंट एस्टिमेट। ये गॉट इट ना?
तो बताना क्या है।
तो बेसिकली पॉइंट एस्टिमेट इज अवर मीन मीडियन मोड सेंट्रल टेंडेंसी जो होता है हमारा, उसमें से हम लेते हैं। तो बेसिक मोस्ट केसेस में हम मीन लेते हैं। ओके।
ठीक है।
हाँ, तो और इसका जो रेंज होता है वो हमारे इसका क्रिटिकल वैल्यू इनटू स्टैंडर्ड एरर, तो ये है इसका। तो फिर जैसे बेसिकली डेविएशन का
प्रणव, थोड़ा सा आवाज धीरे आ रही है।
आवाज धीरे आ रहा है मेरा? ओके, तो आवाज तेज का मैं देखता हूँ, मैं हेडफोन लेके आता हूँ, रुको। 2 सेकंड रुको फिर। हेलो।
हाँ,
अ,
आ रही।
ठीक है, तो मतलब मैं,
आ रहा है आवाज।
ठीक है। तो बेसिकली कॉन्फिडेंट इंटरवल यू कैन फाइंड इन द data also. The suppose I have using the drink data. Okay. So using the PS chat, you can find a confident interval for that data also. Since the sigma is not known, so we are using a T, assuming that is a T test kind of data. We are using that estimation for mean that is not that sigma is unknown. Okay.
स्क्रीन स्क्रीन शेयर कर रहे हैं।
Oh, screen share near for this. So, so now it is visible now.
हाँ हाँ हाँ।
हाँ, अब विजिबल।
Okay. So since our sigma is unknown, sigma पता है ना सबको, sigma value is the standard deviation. Okay. तो इस अगर sigma value नहीं दिया है, we will go for confident PS cat confident interval sigma unknown. Okay.
हाँ, ठीक।
So that's we basically adjust our confidence level based on the how much significant value is provided to us. So we will apply the put that basically row into sorry, that column into the that unknown statistic. Based on that, we will generate our output. So you can see that that tab generated output So it tells a confident interval of data, not the sample test. Only the hypothesis testing come after that. Okay. So for the now, since it is a drink data, I'm using. So there's a problem that uh, uh, that problem is readable now.
Yes.
Pranav, you do one thing, just hold on, let me share my screen. Let me come with this. You do with the test. कॉन्फिडेंस इंटरवल का मैं इंट्रोडक्शन दे दूंगा, तुम उसके बाद प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करना, ठीक है? जस्ट 2 मिनट्स में इंट्रो दे दूंगा. ओके
Okay. So you are
तुम
also
हाँ,
okay.
जस्ट आई विल जस्ट गिव द थियरी इंट्रो, तुम उसमें बाद ले लेना.
Okay.
Yes, so I believe my screen is visible to all and I am audible.
Yeah.
Right. So this is the bell curve which we will be looking at. So the bell curve is nothing but just assume that you have plotted a histogram something like this, and the histogram's values are something like this. Right. So when you draw a curve connecting the peaks, so it will be like this. So now this is something called as a bell. So then you a question, not all histograms will be like this. So that is why we will be using a formula called Z formula, which will convert, which is not in this form to this form. That is what theoretically you understand. You not know how to convert and all. So once we convert into this form, now we already have, suppose there is a column, and in that column we have the data. For this data, I have plotted it in histogram. In the histogram, now I have seen it to be in the bell curve, right? It is in the bell curve form. Now you are getting some new data. Right, you got a new data. Okay, I'll give you a scenario. Suppose there is a in a lace manufacturing shop, in lace manufacturing company, there are the packaging machines. The packaging machines, 3 machines are there. So for the 3 machines, you are calculating how much grams extra, or how much grams is it actually filling in each packet. So there are 3 machines. Each machine is packing different packets. There is different speed of that, and all everything is there. And you have to fill, suppose in a 10 rupees packet, they are filling 40 grams. So now every row, every record is maintained, like one is having 40 grams, one is having 41 grams, one is having 39 grams. So all of that is being recorded for 3 different machines. So as we have done the descriptive statistics, that is being plotted in the histogram. Once you have plotted, that is being converted into the bell curve. Until here, theory is clear? Any doubt? Example
Yes,
is clear?
clear.
Yes. So now once you have done this, now what you are doing is you are unsure whether the 3 machines are working properly or not, or if it is something different happened, or how is it working. Now then randomly out of the 3 machines, you took one machine and you took one packet, one new packet, and you want to check if this weight is actually fitting into this or not. Right. You have to sell only 40 grams. Correct. For 10 rupees, you should sell only 40 grams. You want to check whether this weight, whichever is coming, is it residing in this interval? Like if it is from 39.5, very difficult to draw. Just assume that if it is from 39.5 to 40.5 is what you can bear. Like this error is okay for you. So that is your confidence. If this is within this limit, then you are okay to bear that 0.5 color loss or 0.5 gain. So that is what is confidence interval. So this interval from here to here is your 95% interval, saying that whatever the new product you are having, its weight is ranging in the threshold which you are able to sustain. if it is less than 39.5, suppose 39 grams, which means the consumers are letting loose. Consumers are losing. If it is here, then what is happening? You are getting lost. So that is what you want to measure in this thing. That is actually the confidence intervals theory. So this theory is clear, na? Anyone, any doubt?
Yes, it's clear, Raghunath.
Yeah, so for this column, you are calculating the mean. So that is what he's saying. Let me just check this. Just 1 minute. If I have any sum for it. Yeah, okay. I don't think I have some. So how you have to calculate is you just go to confidence interval. So you see what all options you have. Estimate the mean, sigma is known. Estimate the mean, sigma is unknown. This, I don't believe these are there. Sigma and this thing. Okay, acha, okay. First, let us go through this thing. So what is population and what is sample? And what is population mean and population standard deviation, population variance? Okay. Now see, it is very simple to understand what is this, all of these things. Sample, right? Sample starting letter is what? S, na? What is standard deviation for sample? Sample standard deviation, how you will represent it?
Sigma.
Variance is S. Standard deviation is this is fine. This is X bar, mean
Yes,
of
yes.
mean of sample is X bar, standard deviation is S square, variance is S. Sample starting letter is S, these both are S. So these S is an alphabet, so this is also X bar. When you see the mean, it is a mu. Mu is something like U bar. I think you know what is mu. So mu, then sample ka standard deviation. What is standard deviation? Sigma square. These are all Greek alphabets. I don't, yeah, I think they are Greek. So these are for populations notation. Representation for population is done using these things. For sample, we represent that as X bar, S, and S square. This is just a notation so that you're not confused, just to make you understand this thing. Now, when you know that, now we have to calculate the confidence interval for something which is new, right? New is what? This is a sample. This is a population which you already know. Now we will come into pH stat. We'll go into confidence interval. Estimate the mean. Sigma is known. What is sigma? Just now I said. Sigma is population variance. Population ka variance hai. When that is known, means when it is given in the question, you just enter its value. Population standard deviation क्या है? What if it is given? Then you'll enter the sample statistics, sample size, sample mean. If sample statistics are not known, you'll enter the value. Wait, let me check if I have any problem for it. Okay, you can see this data, right? So for this data, assume that we are doing it for this data and I'm checking the confidence interval. I don't know sigma. Suppose sigma is 10. am taking sigma is, so the sample size. You suppose you don't know all these things also, then just go to sample statistics unknown, which means you just give the data. So I'm just selecting the data. If these are known, what are the sample statistics? Nothing but sample size. Size means how many rows are there? 30 are there. You just enter 30. Sample mean, how you'll get sample mean? You'll go to PStat, descriptive statistics, descriptive summary, and enter the data. So from that, you'll get the mean and standard deviation also. From this sample statistics are unknown means you're directly giving the entire data. And now my confidence interval is 95. Now what this thing will do? See, what it has done is, it will just make this graph. I'll draw it again. It's just making this bell curve on the axis, and it will just get this region. This is 95% confidence interval that if at all the new value which is coming, if it is above this critical value and less than this critical value, then the sample is okay, means it is profitable. As per our example, I have constructed with these values, I constructed the bell curve. Suppose a new package of 10 rupees Lays, I have got it. Now I have calculated this intervals as 39.5 and 40.5. Suppose this weight is 41 grams. Now where is it? It is here. Here means you will reject it. Means it is loss for you. Suppose if it is 38. Lays packet is 38 grams. It is here. It is loss for consumer. You cannot sell that. It loses your credibility in long term. So that is what you're estimating through confidence interval. You will just get two critical points, and you will test if the new value is lying within this critical point or outside the critical point. This is clear, na? Is it fine? Any doubt?
Yeah, clear रघुनाथ. So in question we will just get, मतलब हमें एक वैल्यू दी जाएगी and अपने को वही कॉन्फिडेंस इंटरवल निकालना है, and वो अगर मतलब बीच में है या नहीं वही बस बताना है, right?
Either you will be given something like this. Let me just show you. So either you will be given a data like this. So this is this data which we have spoken, and they'll ask, the question will be, if this is the new data which is coming, they'll ask you to construct the confidence interval. So here we have constructed the confidence interval is here. The lower limit being 1689.96 and the upper limit being 1756.84. These are the values. This we have taken 39.5 and 40.5.
Understood.
These are the lower and upper limits. So you know already this value. So if it is within this value, you'll be say it is accepted. If it is beyond this value, it is rejected. And you can adjust this 95%. Sometimes it
बेसिस पे चूज किया है
क्या?
ये जो 95% तुमने लिया है वो क्या बेसिस पे लिया है कॉन्फिडेंस लेवल?
Generally it is 95% if not mentioned. If it is mentioned, we have to put 90 or whatever is asked.
ओके
मतलब 95% तक you are saying that suppose 100 packets of Lays I am selling, 95 of the packets I am selling are giving you the range from 39.5 grams to 40.5 grams. Maybe 5% defective packets might be there. So 5% defect is acceptable both by consumer and also by producer. He can bear the loss, he can bear the profit. Consumer is also okay. अच्छा 5% defect है छोड़ दो. If it is like 80%, means 20% of your packets which you are selling are less in grams. That is not acceptable. So that is what actually this thing is.
ओके
So your interpretation
Hi,
will also be
Raghunath.
the same.
If we want to change the values 39.5 and 40.5 to get the same 95% confidence interval, like how do we do that?
You can't fix these values. Critical values को fix नहीं कर सकते हो. You can fix the percentage.
Okay.
Like I said, no, you are selling 100 packets of Lays. though the weight you are giving for the consumer should be 95% up to the mark you are claiming. Suppose I am claiming that 40 grams of lace I am selling. So your claim should be validated. 95% of the packets I am selling are within that 40 grams only. That gives you credibility. If you are not selling in that range, your credibility is lost, which means consumers won't buy it, which means the factory will getting lost.
Okay. All right. All right.
That's why this is not fixed. This is what you have to decide, and based on that, you will generate these limits. This is the left side value is called as lower tail, the right side is called as upper tail. That is usually understandable. That is fine, na, everyone?
Yes, yes. Any other type of questions can we expect in this?
From this, I think you can get like they'll give a sample of Z and it is question will be coming and you need to say, suppose here I am taking two tails. They might ask just one tail, maybe upper tail, maybe just lower tail, or they might just ask you to interpret where this value fits and how are you taking it. Suppose a new value is coming to me, I said no 41 and 38. You'll say that since it is beyond the 95% interval, why is it beyond? You have to say it is below the lower tail or it is above the upper tail of this 95% confidence. That's why this is not satisfying the hypothesis. So we'll reject this 41. Clear है सबको?
Yes. This is the only interpretation for Z
हाँ
test.
that's all. Nothing, just one line. ये Z test नहीं है, ये confidence interval है. ये Z
अच्छा, ये
test नहीं है.
confidence interval.
ये
Okay.
confidence interval है. So Z test, Z and T, ZT test. So let us move on to the test. So see here you have one sample test and two sample tests. Basically there are two types. So there are three okay. There are three tests. There is a Z test, there is a T test, and there is a Z proportion test. Right. These thing when the population size is less than 30, then we are going for Z test. If population size is greater than 30, then we are going for T test. This is like Z proportion is like for probabilities. Like yes or no. In that cases, we will be using Z proportion. The other thing is, in these tests also, there are two different categories. One sample and two sample. So one sample, it is very simple. One sample is nothing but you will be given one column. That's all. Two sample means you will be given two columns to compare. Nothing else. Nothing more than that. One sample test means you are testing within one column. Two sample test means you are testing with two columns. Right. So this is one more thing, you have summarized and unsummarized data. That is also nothing. That is also very simple. Summarized and unsummarized. Summarized means you are given the mean, right? Mean value is given. Mean is given. Mean means what? Population mean is what? Mu is given. Standard deviation sigma is given. Variance sigma square is given. If these are given, means these values are directly given, then it is summarized. Unsummarized means you are just given the values in columns. Columns means how we have seen the data set, no, age data set, salary data set for the candidature. Like if it is given like this, directly the columns are given, then it is unsummarized data. Why are you calling it unsummarized? Summarized means what? You are just analyzing the data and getting the output from it. So this is summarized. Summarized means you do descriptive statistics like this, and you give the mean, mode, median, everything is given. So when this is given, you use summarized data. And if that is not given and columns are given, use unsummarized. I'll just show it here also. In PH stat, if you go for one sample, suppose I'm going for one sample Z test. See, it is asking for hypothesis. Level of significance is 95%. Population standard deviation, when it is sigma is known. Standard deviation sigma. If it is known, we will commit here. Sample statistics, I have shown you before also. If this is not there, we'll just select this and select the entire column. I'll show you later on, but just check the structure of Z test. Or directly go to T test. One sample cut T
What
test.
is level of sigma significance?
Not given. 95 by default if it is not mentioned. If it is mentioned, you have to go with that one.
And ये upper tail test, lower tail test, two tail test, ये सब क्या है?
It depends upon problem. Suppose in our case, how I have explained it here. Now assume that we said if it is 39.5 and 40.5, we are accepting. Suppose the government says you can sell it irrespective of 40.5, means 40.5 से कम भी चलेगा. मतलब if your new sample is 38, even that is okay. Which means what? There is no left tail, right? Because entire tail is accepted. So only this upper tail exists. In that case, we will only select the upper tail column. Here I am checking for both the tests. मतलब minimum and maximum both are maintained. Understood? We are taking only for upper tail, which means what? There is no minimum range. Minimum इतना होना है उतना जरूरी नहीं है. There is no compulsion to maintain the minimum weight. But you should not cross the weight. You should not cross 40.5. If there is lower test, which means what? The minimum you cannot cross. But maximum is up to you. How much you want, you can put it. Understood? Not understood. Okay.
समझ गया समझ गया.
Well, sir.
Raghunath, if you can maybe like perform, like solve a question,
yeah,
it would be
just
better
look at-
understood by all.
Okay. So when you're checking it for lower tail test, which means when the weight is here, it is not accepted. When the weight is here, it is accepted. It can go even beyond this range. There is no limit. Upper limit is not there, but lower limit is there. When you are putting for upper test, is not there. Upper limit is there. Like speed breaker, you cannot go beyond this speed. You can go even 0 kilometers fast also, but this speed is not accepted. Here there is a lower tail, which means suppose you are selling rice, you cannot the lower limit, you cannot sell it for less than say 100 rupees, basmati rice of 100 rupees a kilo. You cannot sell beyond it. It means it brings loss for farmers, something like that. That is upper and lower tail. So we'll see the problem soon. Okay. So for that, acha, okay, you have seen it how to do in PH stat, no? Just what to select, where to come and select. One sample test is here, two sample unsummarized and two sample summarized is here. Okay, we'll see it for which data.
I have the question for that. Hang it to me. I will solve the one tail test. I have the question for that.
Okay,
Okay.
right.
So afterward,
I'll
you
just-
can take over.
Yes, I'll just stop the sharing. I don't know where it is. Yeah, it is. I think I have stopped sharing. Are you still able to see my screen?
Yes, your screen is still visible.
Okay, you start sharing.
Okay. So I'm sharing my entire screen. Is it visible?
Not yet.
Now it should be.
I am not able to see. Is anyone else able to see?
Yes, I am
Yes, it
able
is
to see.
visible.
Yeah, now it's fine for me also. You can start. Yeah.
So
Go
okay,
ahead.
we are left with 7 minutes. So the are you able to read the highlighted case? I have highlighted for that one tail only. So there is a upper limit basically. Are you able to read?
Yes, yes.
So basically we are solving a bank problem. So it is, we are taking given the time. in the data form
Hmm.
taken to respond the problem. Okay. So here it is given that 15 is the sample size, and that how it's how many and the significance level is given 0.05. Okay, it is equivalent to 0.95. Okay, 95%. Okay,
Hmm.
and they are asking that the population mean waiting period less than the 5 minutes. Okay,
Hmm.
so everyone getting the point that it is a
Just
one
1
tail
minute,
test.
1 minute, 1 minute. So for everyone, just to reiterate, this is a bank data. This is a one column cell, one column data. It is showing between 12 noon to 1 p.m. What is the waiting time for customers? It is shown for sample of 15 customers is selected. Yeah, now go ahead, Pranav.
Okay, so they are basically asking that the significance level at the significance level that provided, is there is a evidence that population means waiting time is less than 5 minutes. So null hypothesis is given here is less than 5 minutes. Less than five. That are you able to make out of it? Null
Yes,
hypothesis or alternate. Everyone know that now? Null and alternate hypothesis.
Everyone know?
No, I
No, I
don't.
don't think.
Okay. So basically, the statement you have to work upon. So the null hypothesis that as Raghunath explained in the previous case for the that company has a mean, right? That such as the we are taking that company wants to be uh, selling a 2 liter bottle of Coke. So company don't want to be that like such like it should be in the 2 liter bottle. Okay, not more than that. It should be less, but not more than that. Because it is not profitable for company getting it. What I'm saying.
Yes, yes, yes.
So that basically we are assuming that it is basically hypothesized mean that we are stating that it is equals to 2 liter bottle. Or second thing that in the two, basically I'm explaining for two tails. It is not equals to 2 liter.
Hmm.
So that is the alternate hypothesis. For that Coke case I'm explaining.
Hmm.
Okay. But in the case of bank, it is less than 5 minutes. We are testing for. So everyone able to make out for it or need some more understanding of it.
So, see, there is nothing so much complicated. The first thing is there is a single column given, and hypothesis is you understood the problem, right? They are saying for a bank, 15 people have come. From that 15 people, they have collected the wait duration that is put in one column. Now, the question is asked is at 0.05 level, by just keep the question, no?
It was
0.05
we
level
are
of.
about to end a meet, na?
Acha, acha. Okay. Let's just see the solution
So
once.
you read the question. So I open the solution quickly.
Okay. So the question says it's 0.05 level of significance. Is there evidence that the population mean waiting time is less than 5 minutes? Means what? You can see the people are waiting for 4.21, 5.5, 3.02. Now you have to show the evidence that the mean waiting time is less than 5 minutes. So what you'll do? Just take a wild guess. Out of all
टी
those things,
टेस्ट क्यों कर रहे हैं इसमें, जेड टेस्ट क्यों नहीं कर रहे हैं?
15 सैंपल्स ही तो है, जे टेस्ट करो भाई।
That test का वो तो हमें पता होना चाहिए. Deviation नहीं है हमारे पास.
हाँ,
Deviation भी तो होना चाहिए.
हाँ, that is
Sigma
not given,
unknown.
no?
ये भी तो
Sigma
ठीक
unknown.
एक चीज है.
Sigma is not given, no?
अच्छा, तो अगर सिग्मा नहीं दिया होता है तो हमेशा टी टेस्ट करना है.
हाँ,
ओ
अगर तरीका भी नहीं दिया हुआ निकालने का तो फिर टी टेस्ट ही होगा मतलब
Because SPSS you can't do Z test.
yeah or in the the book we have facing the problem that we can't do the Z test. There is no problem that explain the Z test in the manner. So this is nothing but the 95 level, okay, confident level that 5%, 0.05, and so there is a upper tail, na, right? So we are applying it. So everyone able to see the output of
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes.
so basically the upper circuit value they are given, and we have to draw the inference from that p value that comes. Okay, so that it is between the range we are trying to make inference. So it yes, we did not reject the null hypothesis. Remember, we don't. There are two things we do in this case. We either reject it or we does not reject the null hypothesis. So time is about to end. Raghunath will explain in next meeting about that.
Okay, we are less than 1 minute. I think this will end up. अच्छा